Hi, welcome back to another episode of Atomic Token Games. I'm Wade Wagner.
And I'm Jake Steppen.
And this is Atomic Game Theory. Alright guys, we're kind of just going to talk at you for a little bit. We've been having kind of our favorite word, analysis paralysis, I think, on what to play, what to review. And so we just we're so excited. We've gotten so many games that we're just like, I want to do all of them. We don't have time to do all the content. So I don't know. How are you feeling about everything we have?
Oh, yeah. It's like too many good things. We just have we got a whole stack of new games.
Yeah, dude. There's so much. We have so much.
Yep.
all we want to do is just play them, but we got to figure out which ones we want to do reviews for. Do we want to start lower popularity to higher popularity? Oh my gosh! Yeah. We want to just talk about some of the stuff that we've gotten so far.
Yeah, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So my stack right here, I have Cascadia. This is a very simple game, real fun to play. You build little ecosystems and put animals in to score points, that sort of thing.
It's like a tile, you have a bunch of hexes and you kind of build it as it goes out.
Yeah, so you're building the whole land as you go, that sort of thing.
We can cut some of it too and show some, I don't know. Oh, it's got this super satisfying component bag. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these are little animal chips, so you pull these out to figure out which animals you get.
Chips and stuff. Lots of variability.
Yeah, lots of variability, super replayable.
I'm in review mode now. I'm maybe we should
talk about all the games. We got Root. So Root's one of our new games. It's been around for a while actually, but it's super popular. It's one where there's different factions. Each faction has totally different play style, totally different rules and win conditions, and your whole goal is to take over the forest.
100% asymmetric.
Yeah, super different. You're trying to just gain control of the forest or mountain or whatever map you're playing on and try and take over.
Mm-hmm. So when we say, I wonder if we should define some of the more board gamey words that some people may not be familiar with. So asymmetric is generally in Catan, everybody's doing the same action, right? But asymmetric is one person playing Catan can build roads and houses and towns, and the other person in Catan is digging in the mountains and has a completely different set of actions.
Yep.
And so that's what Root is there's a faction of cats. What else is there? Mice?
There's cats, mice, birds, there's a raccoon, there's a bunch of expansions. Right. You can get more.
And the cats have 10 warriors or something, and the raccoon just plays by himself.
Yep, yeah. Totally different. And that's one of the things, as we've been trying to find good games to play and review and talk about and stuff, games that have that kind of variability, at least for me, they just play better. It doesn't necessarily have to be asymmetric, I guess. It doesn't necessarily have to be that everybody plays different, but I like having variability every time you play the game. I feel like variability,
is that the most, for me, that's the most important thing, I think.
Yeah.
I was just opening Rebellion today, and I was looking at all the cards, and I was okay, so I'm kind of familiar with all these cards now. Is it going to change at all, or is the gameplay going to be the same every time?
Yeah, so that's something, honestly, games that have different win conditions each time you play, so games
Wingspan's a great example.
Yeah. Excuse me, every time you play Wingspan, you choose the end of round score tile randomly. So there's 15 of them or whatever, and so you just pick 4, one for each round. And so every time you play, you can't just do XYZ to win. There's not just a one way to win. It changes. What your strategy you have to change. Yeah, and that helps a lot. And even games that don't have that type of different things,
it's you just want to be doing something different every time. Something has to change the way you play. I was trying to think in in Terra Mystica, if you play a faction, it's generally going to play the same every time, but the way you place it at the beginning is going to change.
And other people having competition for, so it's worker placement games and stuff where it's this is the best action to take, but Billy gets to go first.
Yeah.
So he took it. Now what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe next round, Billy went first. He took the best one. Jane went second. She took the second best one. Like, even having that helps a lot when it's like, yeah, maybe there is a best way to play.
Yeah.
But if you can't always do it, there's restrictions on when and how you can do things, or a randomized deck of cards that come up so you don't know if it's even going to be in the game, kind of thing, right? There's a whole bunch of ways the games can make things variable, and I think for me that super increases the, like...
Just everything.
Yeah, everything.
Replayability, fun level. Because, yeah, like, for me, I want, like, in Dune Imperium... I don't want everybody to always be fighting over the same best action, right? I want to go first because I would need to be able to take this action.
Right.
But it's like either as the game progresses, the actions change, or every time you play, it's like, oh, well, I'm actually drafting these kind of cards in my deck, and so I need to actually go to this location for something different or whatever. I think it just, the more moving pieces there are that are changeable and customizable, I think that's, the more you can change about the whole game, the better, I think.
Because everyone's played, like, the classic games... You know, the Sorry, Uno, Clue, Monopoly, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And those games do have some variability, but they're really simple games. And so every time you play, you know, you can just pick your one strategy to win.
Yeah.
The variability is maybe in your dice roll or whatever.
Right, you have to just...
But those kind of games, right, it's just like, you do this to win.
Yeah.
And they're super simple, and, you know, you can love them for that, but... Mm-hmm. Definitely, there's just so much more to have the variability.
I think Wingspan is just like one of those perfect examples of variability, because you have the different win conditions each round, right? Each round has a different, not even win condition, a victory point condition.
Yeah, way to earn points.
And then the deck is so huge. There are so many birds.
Yeah, and I bought both expansions.
Oh my god!
So now there's like 1,000 cards.
The base game already has so much, and so like that, it's like, oh. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm going to pick the Raven every time I see it because it's really good, but you may not see it every game.
Right.
And then you have the
and also
area.
If it shows up later in the game, it's like...
It's not as good.
Yeah.
So there's just so many moving parts, and I think that's what a game for me is important, that it can be replayable. Mm-hmm. Like, and the variability is directly, I think, correlated with the
yeah. And and to me, I think it also just adds to the strategy, because it's like, the rules are the same. Your turns are the same, right? Your turn actions are the same. But, you know, maybe in one game you're like, man, I really just want to get coins. That's going to be how I'm going to win and fund everything. And then another game you're like, I don't want to get any coins. I'm going to try and get resources, or I'm going to battle the boss or whatever, right? And do this or that.
It has to be, and it's viable, right? If you change strategies, it's viable, and that's...
Yeah, important. And that, I think, just adds so much to the game. If you're not playing every time, you're like, oh, like, you know, time to play... Clue, and I'm just gonna, you know, visit every room and guess, you know, the things I have, and, you know, you have your algorithm to figure out what's missing as fast as possible. Every game, doesn't matter what it is, you know. So, I love Clue.
I mean, those are Well, speaking of Clue, like, I think Mysterium. Well, I have it. You can't even see it down here, but I think Mysterium is a really good example of that, of adding the different people you play with, adding variability, because it's the same game every time, right? Yep. There's one person that's the ghost, everybody else are the psychics, and the ghost is handing them visions, but each ghost is going to interpret the artwork differently based on what is, you know, out on the board as the unknowns or whatever. Yeah. And so I think that's a really good example of variability because of the unique people that are playing it, which is cool. Yeah, we just kind of wanted to talk at you for a little bit, and I think that's just been something on our minds, is variability and how important that is in games. I mean, that's what's going to get me to come back to Dinosaur World. Like, I had a good time with that today, but also I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so overwhelmed. But because I know the next game could be so different, I think that's what's
I still haven't won that game, but it's just frustrating. I've tried a different strategy every time and just fail. So
it's not even like you had that many people die. I don't.
It definitely helps a lot, and so.
But yeah, thanks for watching. We kind of just wanted to talk at you for a little bit. We're excited for all this stuff coming. We got a ton of games from SaltCon. We've just bought a bunch of games for the hell of it. We've backed. How many Kickstarters have we backed now?
10?
10 Kickstarters, and we have another 6 or 7. I'm trying to look at the webpage on the list.
We have a bunch saved that we're looking at. We're just constantly. I spend all my free time just looking for games and watching reviews and finding good games and stuff.
I feel like I'm just reading rule books. I feel like that's all I'm doing lately is just reading rule books. I set it up. I had my kids working on a project today in my classroom, and on the side I finished a 2-day game of Terra Mystica with another student. Oh man, it was awesome though, and we just learned how to play it. And
so make sure, guys, leave a comment down below on what do you think about variability. Make sure you let us know which game have you played that has really good variability. Maybe which game have you played that just booty, terrible variability. Let us know down below in the comments. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
I think that's the most important thing for us is variability. If you think something else is important, like what's your most important? Let us know what your favorite part of board games is, right? I think ours, the most important thing is variability, one of them.
Yep, definitely.
That's pretty high up. But let us know what you think the most important thing. Why do you come back to board games? Thanks for watching. We're going to get our Patreon. We still have our Patreon going.
Yep.
Right? We're going to get some merch. I think we're going to be working on that soon. Just get some t-shirts and stuff with our logo out there. Hats and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. We'll put links to that in the video description when we get all that done. Click on the links. Like, subscribe. We want to keep doing this. And we're having a blast. Also, like the biggest thing. Our studio has upgraded immensely. You can probably tell by looking at it and hearing it. It probably sounds and looks a hell of a lot better. And so I think we're excited for just everything. It's awesome.